Welcome back to Wise Men Company, everyone. Ben Brown here, and today we are going to look at the BRN-180 from Brownells 300 blackout versus the Sig Rattler or cane brake, depending on what variant you have or you're looking at to get. This is a very good matchup. They're very comparable platforms, and before we really get into it, I'm going to say I like both of these a lot. I have spent money on both the BRN-180 and the Sig. They were not exposure bucks or YouTube bucks. They were not given to me, sent to me. My own dollars or company dollars to buy them, to review them, and give you guys feedback on them. So no preferential preference either way on each platform. I like them both. It's really going to come down to, like always, training. What role is it going to serve in your life, right? There's going to be some main topics we cover in this video. I think these are the most important topics when you're shopping for one of these two platforms. I'm not going to really get into the nitty-gritty of on how they work or the history behind these guns. I don't think it's really relevant. If this video is for those people out there that are shopping for one, looking to pick one of these two guns up or both, and I think this video, since I have experience with both of them, will help you a lot. Quickly, before we get into it, I want you to open up another tab in the browser. Go over to wisemencompany.com. Check out the gear we got going on over there. A lot of great nylon gear. A lot of the gear you see in this video is on our website. It's all made by Lunar Concepts. We got some other stuff on there for EDC. This is a great way to support us. We appreciate every bit of that support. So go over to wisemencompany.com right now. First category is performance. If these guns don't work, if they don't run, if they're not reliable, if they don't put bullets where they're intended to go, what's really the point? So we're going to talk about performance first. This is the most important category in my mind. Both these guns are short stroke gas piston guns. This allows them to have no buffer tube on the back of them. You don't have to run an AR-15 buffer tube. You can run a fixed stock that folds, etc. But let's talk about performance here. Both these guns were very, very reliable. The BRN-180 I've actually seen really, really abused. Worked over hard, to say the least. Like a redheaded stepchild, like a rented mule, like AOC at a debate. Like the BRN-180 I have seen worked lots of rounds, minimal maintenance, and they keep on running. Reliability is great. Sig, Rattler, or cane brake, also very reliable. These guns are piston driven, like I stated. They put all that dirt and junk in a different area other than the bolt carrier group like you see on a DI gun. So they run relatively clean. Clean being, again, they're not putting dirt into that bolt carrier group area, into the upper receiver area where things can really gum up the work. So reliability, great. They both have two gas settings for suppressed and unsuppressed supers and subs. Both gas settings work as advertised. And again, if you put it on the right setting with the ammo you're using, you're going to have great reliability. Reliability is probably the most important feature for you guys, and I got to say, both these guns I have seen run hard. BRN-180 is a little bit harder, and they're great, top notch. Accuracy. Accuracy kind of depends if you're going to run supers or subs. Supers, in my experience, for both these guns were a little bit more accurate. Typically, that's the trend on any firearm. Subs, the groups open up a little bit more. You're going to get about, with surplus ammo, you're going to get anywhere from 2 to 3 inches at 100 yards for a group size. Most of these guns are going to be run suppressed with subs and inside of 100 yards. So accuracy is relative. My question would be, what do you need to get out of this gun as far as accuracy goes? We touched on running these guns suppressed. They're quiet. They're quiet with no gas in the face. Ran a couple of different cans on these guns. Silencer Co. Omega 9K, Silencer Co. Omega, Energetic Arms Vox, and all these guns had minimal gas back in the face. That is important to me. I don't like getting gas in the face when I'm running suppressed. They were very, very quiet when you use subs. I used 200 grain and 220s, and they were all very, very quiet. I will say, to my ear, I didn't measure the decibels, but according to my ear, the MCX or the Rattler cane brake was more quiet. Last point on performance would be the controls. Both these lowers are AR-15 style lowers, to say the least. The BRN-180, I used the specific Brownells lower, which was really, really nice. Flared mag well. Everything fit really nicely inside the receiver. But you're going to get standard AR-15 controls. No ambi, unless you make some changes to it. They're very standard AR-15 controls. The Rattler lower is ambidextrous, so for lefties it's a little bit more convenient. Also, if you're a right-handed person, if you need to switch shoulders, or for some reason you need to operate the gun with opposite hands, you have those ambi controls. Everything worked great. I do like ambi controls. I wouldn't have said that maybe 5-10 years ago. I didn't think they were really necessary, but the more I shoot, the more I like the option of ambi controls. I think all lower receivers should just come ambidextrous. I'm not sure why everyone's not doing that. It seems easy to do. And again, it's not that I'm running my gun left-handed all the time. Sometimes when I'm shooting, it calls for me to use the controls on the opposite side of the gun. So next category is size. 300 blackout. People like to put these in bags, stick them in vehicles. They're usually smaller than a lot of the other firearms out there, or AR-15 variants out there. You can get some pretty tight small packages. Again, both of these options are piston driven, so there's no buffer tube on the back. You can put on folders. Really cuts down the size if you want to backpack this or stick it in a car or a tight space. The BRN-180 is about a ½ pound to a pound lighter unloaded, definitely lighter. The BRN-180 and 300 blackout only comes in a 10-inch barrel. It's a little longer than I would like. The MCX is a brick. It feels chunky. It's a girthy gun, for lack of a better term. But it comes in a 5.5-inch barrel, so length is a little bit more tolerable. And when we're talking about adding a suppressor to the end of the barrel, every inch counts. Can I say that? So, size. Yeah, BRN-180, you're going to get a little extra velocity out of that longer barrel. Don't think the juice is really worth the squeeze on that barrel. I would prefer a shorter barrel because, again, we're adding a suppressor to the end of it. It's going to increase the overall length. The Rattler with that 5.5-inch barrel and a modest size can, you can really tuck this thing away. You can put it in a very small backpack, behind a seat. It just gives you a lot of options. I would really wish Brownells would come out with a BRN-180 with a shorter barrel. And who knows, maybe in the future they will. I think the Rattler takes the cake when it comes to size, even though it's a little heavier. Price, dinero. the BRN-180 and the Sig Rattler cane brake really separate when we're talking about price. BRN-180s come in at a modest $1,400 all said and done, and depending on the sale or the deal, you can usually find them for a little bit cheaper than that. That's a really good price for an outstanding 300 blackout. Sig Rattlers, most of you know, gonna be really, really expensive, over $2,000 retail price tag if you can find them at retail. The Sig Rattlers are really, really hard to find right now. Gun broker prices, if you get on there, you'll see some Sig Rattlers selling for $3,000, $4,000. Sounds kind of ridiculous, but that is the market we live in right now. So price, BRN-180 is a no-brainer. You're going to save a lot of money. You can put that into training. You can put it into mags, accessories for the gun. The BRN-180 is a steal of a deal when we're talking about price. Sig prices, always a little bit on the high side. I'd like to see those numbers come down. Don't think we will. Last category, availability. We touched on this a little bit when we talked about price. Can't find the Sig Rattlers very often. They're not out there. I don't know what Sig's doing. The Rattlers are a little bit more available than the 556 Virtus versions. We're not talking about the Virtus in this video, but as far as the MCX platform goes, the Rattlers can be a lot harder to find. And the BRN-180s, depending on what you want, Brownells usually has them in stock. There's some other people selling them too. So availability, if you can't have the Rattler, it makes the BRN-180 the obvious choice. You're going to save money again, and you can get the accessories you need to outfit it. The Sig Rattler, if you're trying to find a spare barrel or different controls, or maybe you want to go from a pistol to an SBR and find a Sig stock, it's really, really tough. It is extremely challenging. If you do find one, you're going to pay top dollar. So availability definitely goes to the BRN-180. All right, guys, so that is a quick down and dirty comparison of the two. You guys have been asking for this comparison for a while, and again, own both guns, love them to death. They're great. If I had to choose one or the other, if I had to give one up, I'm going to go with the Rattler because of size. It's smaller, packs away nice. The recoil is really, really light. Again, I think it's a little bit quieter. And again, that's going to depend on the can you choose. BRN-180s, still great guns. Awesome guns. Even with the reciprocating bolt or charging handle on the BRN-180s, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's a negative for the gun. It's a great platform. It really is. Would just like to see it with a shorter barrel. And I think if Brownells came out with a shorter barrel for the BRN-180 and 300 blackout, they would just sell the pants off that gun. It's great. You'd have a nice small tiny package, throw a can on it, and still have a very modest overall length. So let me know down in the comments below, guys. What do you guys think? What would you take? I know there's a lot of owners of both that follow this channel, so I want to hear from you. Talk amongst each other. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. I'm not just saying that because you're supposed to say it at the end of the video. All that support counts. And if you really want to support us, go over to wisemancompany.com. A lot of great gear over there. Hot pockets, slings, a lot of the nylon gear you saw in this video you can actually buy over on our website. And again, that supports us directly, and we appreciate all that support. Guys, my name's Ben. We'll see you on the next video.